my name is Chase Ross, and this is going to be a video series on Trans 101. If you're here, you probably know somebody who's transgender, and you're just wondering, what's going on? What's going on with them? What is all this trans stuff going on? Somebody might have just come out to you. Maybe you know somebody at work who's coming out. Maybe you're just curious. Maybe you hate trans people and you're like, might as well just get educated on what I hate. Whatever the reason is, welcome, all right? And in this playlist, you will find 31 videos of very basic Trans 101 topics that I will be explaining in depth, but in a short amount of time. Just to give you a little preview, some of the topics will include what is transgender, what is dysphoria, different types of surgeries that individuals can have, hormone replacement therapy, hormone blockers, transgender children, and then different type of prosthetics that trans people can use. So this is meant to be for friends, families, allies, partners, but it's also meant for people who are questioning and are not sure if they're trans, or for people who are trans and are just wondering about certain little different things that maybe they didn't know about. I am gonna go in depth about bottom surgery, and not many people know about bottom surgery, even in this community, so that's something that might be interesting to people who are trans. So basically this video series is for everyone. Yeah. So let me introduce myself. Like I said, my name is Chase Ross. I run this channel here. I've been on YouTube for 10 years. I am 26 years old. I have been on hormone replacement therapy, or testosterone, for 7 years. I had top surgery 4 years ago, and I don't represent the entire trans community. The reason I disclaimer this is because there's a lot of information out there, and one trans person does not equate all trans people's experiences, and it's like that for every single minority group in the entire world. Why did I decide to do this series? Well, I get questions every single day from people, and it's not that I don't want to answer those questions, is that I thought that maybe making this Trans 101 series might help people answer questions that they don't have answers to, or questions that they didn't even know they had. I will say that in the future I will be making another series called Trans 201, I guess, where it's more advanced, where I answer questions that people have actually asked me that are very specific. And these will be related to like hormones, and will be related to like teen and coming out when you're under 18 and stuff like that. So look out for that in the next couple of months, but for now, enjoy this series and enjoy this playlist, and please let me know what you think. Without further ado, let's start with number 1. What is transgender? So you probably heard of transgender in the media a lot lately, and you're probably like, what does it even mean? I have all of these outdated notions of what trans people mean. Well, I'm here to let you know what it is. What is transgender? Well, it is somebody whose gender identity does not match the gender they were assigned at birth. So what does assigned gender even mean? Well, when you were born and the doctor or nurse, whoever, looked at your genitals and they saw a penis and they said, oh my God, it's a boy. I mean, they didn't say, oh my God, but they just said, it's a boy, and everyone's so excited, blue here, all of these stereotypes that are attributed to men. Here, be masculine, play sports, be dominant, all of these things were now attributed to this one baby. When that baby grows up and is a toddler or a child or a teen or an adult, some individuals, all right, inside feel that the gender that they were assigned, so in this example, because you have a penis, you are a man, you are male, does not fit how they feel inside, all right? And I'm not talking about men who feel like they are feminine and maybe gay or flamboyant. This is a completely different thing. This is how you want people to perceive you in society, and this is how you feel inside, and when you look in the mirror, you want the image that you see inside of yourself to match the image on the outside. Yes, there are feminine men and feminine gay men and very flamboyant men and metrosexual men who aren't gay. It doesn't matter here. That's not what I'm talking about. That's different. That's how you like to perceive yourself in the world, but you still are male, and you still want to be perceived as male. You just want to be perceived as male in a feminine way. When you're trans, you want to be perceived as female, because that's how you feel inside. And I'm only giving you an example of somebody who is male to female transgender. That's not what I am. I am a female to male transgender. So I was born, the doctors looked at my genitals and they were like, oh my God, it's a girl. I realized when I was younger, when I was 15, that, oh my God, something, my whole life, something's been off. And the second I found out what being trans is, or what trans was, everything clicked and everything in my life then made sense. And at that moment I realized I don't want to be seen as a masculine woman. I want to be seen as the man that I am inside. And now that I am here, 11 years later, doing all of this stuff, I am very, very happy with who I am, and everything, my gender identity and how I identify inside finally resembles the outside that I have been dealing with for a very long time. I know as a non-trans person, this is very hard to understand. So just for 1 second, I want you to just imagine something for me, okay? If you are a non-trans female, all right, and you live in the world and you want to be seen as who you are female, but the entire world just uses he pronouns, his pronouns, and just treats you and sees you only as male. I know that's hard to imagine, but just for 1 second, you wouldn't be comfortable. And I know that this is not the same thing, all right, but I just want you to imagine, you would not be comfortable. And that's just that slight discomfort that you're feeling just even thinking about that, that's the life of trans people every single day. Somebody telling them that no, you're not actually female, you're male. And I'm not gonna respect that. I'm gonna keep using he pronouns to refer to you, even though you're telling me that you're female. No, you're actually male. And I know that there are going to be a bunch of people out there who say that example doesn't work, but you know what? It has worked in the past for some people to kind of understand what's going on, but also I want you to know, okay, because a lot of people are just gonna go, but what about gender expression? What about all of these other things? These are all just stereotypes. People are just used to these gender roles. All of these terms will be discussed in video number 2 of this series. But just to quickly recap, being transgender means that you don't identify with the gender that you were assigned at birth. You live your life not matching the outside body to your inside body. This is called dysphoria, all right? I don't want to go into what dysphoria is in this video because that's a video later on in this series, but if you are not trans and you don't have dysphoria, it is impossible for you to understand what dysphoria is because you don't have it. But at least you can try to understand it a little bit, and you can understand what it means in the term, and you won't understand what it feels like, but you'll understand what it is. And really, the main part of dysphoria is that you just don't connect your gender identity and how you feel inside with the body that you have, all right? And yes, there is a whole bunch of things that you can do in order to alleviate this gender dysphoria, and most of the people transition. But I just want to reiterate, every trans experience is different. If you are trans, you do not need to transition in order to be trans. Some people cannot medically transition. They literally cannot because they either don't want to, they don't feel they need to, they can't because of no support, or they medically can't because there's something, they have a medical condition that prevents them from transitioning. So if you have a trans person in your life, all right, and they tell you, hey, I'm trans, can you please use he, him pronouns for me? Respect them. Even if they don't look like how you want them to look, as what you deem what a man is supposed to look like in society, just respect them. And just know that some people just aren't ready to transition, can't transition, or will not be able to medically transition in the future. Basically, this video is all about respect. You'll never understand what it's like to be trans, and that's fine. But at least you can understand certain aspect of what trans is, and you can respect it, and respect the people in your life who are trans, and respect the people who you will encounter in your life as trans, and be a good ally. I'd just like you to have an open mind and watch these videos. I know some of you might not be accepting at all and you don't even want to watch this, but please just understand I'm just trying to educate you, okay? We are not freaks of nature. We have lives. I am not just trans. I am successful. I am a graduate student. I have like 2 different companies. I do a podcast. I do all of these other things that make me who I am. I'm a runner. I work at a running store. I'm not just trans, and I have a life, and I have been in relationships, and people love me, and I have support from my family and my friends, and all of these things make me who I am. And I need you to know that I'm not just some trans person trying to convert other trans people and bring them into my sick world. All right, so I know that you might not have an open mind right now, but please just watch these videos and learn a little bit. And then maybe you'll be able to see us as a little more human than you did. And maybe you'll be able to accept the trans person in your life just a little bit more. That was pretty heavy, I'm sorry about that. But you know, people are gonna be watching this series who weren't really super accepting, so that's why this series is here. Thank you for watching, all right? I will see you in episode number 2.